Once upon a time, two retired teachers decided to convert their garage into a pottery studio. Along with their daughter and son, they built a business around the idea that the world could use a little more art and a lot more artists. We're the Kaya family. Welcome to WockyPots. Hi everybody, how you doing? How you been? How are things? Shane and Diane here with Coffee Time number 56 here at WockyPots Studio. Now we've got a couple things to talk about this week. Holy cow, what a busy week it has been as far as making videos and stuff.
It really has. It's been an amazing week.
Yeah, so what are we going to talk about in this week's show?
Alrighty, so I am glad you asked because we are going to kind of go back over last week day by day.
Oh man, we're going to break it down.
Yes.
Break it down.
Yes.
Okay.
Sort of. Mm-hmm. I probably will get lost along the way, but
that's okay.
It's all good. Well, on Monday we had our Vevor wheel review.
Right. If you haven't had a chance to check out our review of the Vevor pottery wheel, the 11-inch Vevor pottery wheel that we got from Amazon, do check out that review. We've had it for over a year now. In fact, we have two of them. And it looks like we may be getting one or two more for the studio. Anyway, find out why we like it by watching that video if you haven't seen it already.
Yeah, that's right. And also, you know, we got two of those wheels, and it's one of those things, you know, we bought those wheels. We were trying them out ourselves, and so we just kind of share our very honest opinion. Mm-hmm. You know, so that was Monday. Mm-hmm. On Tuesday, we had our homeschool pottery classes that began.
That was so much fun.
Yes.
So we had about 20 kids in here, and we did pinch pots and coiled construction bowls. Right. And it went so well. The kids were so fantastic.
Yes, we'll share a picture of their work that was finished and is drying under the plastic behind you. Right. So, yeah, so that was a fun day. I will say that there was a little bit of a scheduling snafu on my part. And so the afternoon class ended up super full.
We were like sardines in here, you guys.
Yes, we were. But thanks to one mom, bless her heart, she told me, she says, would it be better if we came to the morning? And I'm like, oh, that would be wonderful.
Spread it out
a little bit. So I'm so glad that people are understanding and work with us because we do the best we can.
20 people is a lot trying to manage them in the studio. And even though they only come half in each session, 10 other people working along with us here in the studio makes for a pretty crowded condition.
And the afternoon had 12 and then like 5 parents. And so I felt so bad because there wasn't enough space for the parents to have a seat.
We normally love to have
but
we normally love to have the parents in here with their kids. They enjoy it. They enjoy being with them. But it was pretty tight last time with like Diana said, 12 students and then a bunch of adults as well.
Yeah. And I will say after that day, we were exhausted. And in fact, we were so exhausted that Wednesday turned into our day off.
Right. We took the day off on Wednesday.
When I say we took the day off, I don't know that we accomplished anything.
Did we even come into the studio on Wednesday?
No.
I don't think we even looked at the door.
We did. I don't know that we ate leftovers that day. Mm-hmm. We vegged on the sofa. That was pretty much it.
Now, understand that we talked about the snow a little bit last week. We had another snowfall, and we still
and
had
that was
snow
on that Wednesday.
On that Wednesday.
Yes.
We still have snow on the ground now. It's not a lot, and it will be melted in the next couple of days. But this is the most significant snow event that we've had in quite some time. I love the snow. It's great, but it's also good for just sitting on the sofa with a hot cup of hot cocoa and looking out the window. It's a good day for that.
And so that was nice because we felt like, oh, we're justified in doing nothing.
Right.
Yes. So that was good. And then Thursday turned into an all-day glazing event. Mm-hmm. Not that I did as many pieces as I normally would do when we were going to the markets back in the summer season.
But it did fill the day.
But it did fill the day for sure. And in fact, I'd like us to stop and talk about our favorites that came out of the kiln that day.
Right. So we glazed the stuff on Thursday, it came out of the kiln Saturday.
Today's Sunday.
Today's Sunday. So yesterday, it came out yesterday. And although it was a small load for us, we do have some success stories to talk to you about. Yes. And as always, there will be closer pictures of these as we talk with them.
It's so funny because one of my favorite things ended up being this wheel throne mug that you had done, but I noticed you have a piece over there that has this exact same combo on it.
We picked our favorite pieces. Diana picked hers and I picked mine.
Yes.
And we both picked a piece with this same glaze combination.
This is stunning. And I talked about the fact that if there's a glaze combination that I want to do repeatedly, I'd like it to have a name. And, when I look at this, it really reminds me of a nighttime thunderstorm in the summer. So, we were thinking of, and Lainey even chimed in too, midnight thunderstorm. And,
I like it.
Yes. So I'm thinking that's probably going to be it. But it is
If I can,
beautiful.
I want to show you guys close-up pictures because the way the glaze reacted, you can't see it from this distance for sure. But looking at it, I love how it looks almost like agate, almost like a...
It's just a beautiful combo. Now, this was done on the Sheltoe Brown clay from Kentucky Mudworks. So my goal in the next glaze load we do, I want to repeat the same glaze combination, but I want to do it on the standard 112 that I use more of. And I want to see if it's a stunning on that. And then I think we will decide that, hey, that is its name, and people can pick that.
This might be a normal glaze combo for
I'm so excited with that, and that's why I just want to make sure that it's going to be a good fit with the standard 112 also, since that's our other most common glaze.
Right.
So.
And we do, as we normally do with the Sheltoe Brown, we love to showcase the clay itself. So there's that band of brown you see is the actual clay. Yeah. It's not glazed all the way to the bottom.
Yes. I don't know. Any other potters out there or any people who love pottery, do you sit there and find yourself patting your pieces?
That's a little weird, maybe.
Maybe not. But you did this, and it is just, I love the way it feels. I'm like, ooh.
Well, that's it's my favorite shape. And going back to one of my other favorite mugs is a very similar shape, a little shorter, a little wider. Yeah. But I like this one because of the error in this cup. So this cup has a very interesting mistake, you guys. Yeah. It has these speckles on the outside that, from a distance, I thought that these were pock marks, like mistakes in the glaze, like bubbles, where you could see bare clay through them. But they are not. These are specks that are completely solid, completely glazed. In fact, they're raised up a little bit from the surface of the glaze.
Don't even know, and are.
We don't know where they came from.
Perfectly formed, and
I don't know where they came from, but we like them. One thing I like about it is, for whatever reason, some of the specks migrated down into the clay. I don't know how that happens, but some of the bare clay down here has a couple of those spots on it. I don't know what happened. I don't know what caused this. And I would think that it would be a reaction with something outside the cup, except they're inside the cup as well. So it was for sure something in the glaze that caused that. Now, this is the only combo on the table for these colors. Diana, what were the colors on this?
It's Norse Blue, which certainly does not have any specks to it whatsoever. And the other was Tiger's Eye. Maybe there's something with the Tiger's Eye.
There might have been a contamination on the brush. I don't know.
But for it to have happened on all three pieces, that's what's amazing to me. And the fact that it's showing up on the entire thing, even when it's down here on the mug or whatever. But, I feel like we should call that our freckle mug.
A freckle mug?
Yes.
Maybe. Anyway, I love it. I love the colors. I love the accidental nature of the speckles. This is just generally a good cup. This would work for a cup of coffee for you because we measured it and it holds 10 ounces.
Yes.
It holds 10 ounces. So an 8-ounce cup of coffee with a couple ounces of free space for creamer would be fine. I tend to pour a 10-ounce cup of coffee. So the only way I'd be able to use this for mine is if I drank my coffee black and didn't put any creamer in it. But it's very nearly a perfect
that is very nice
size.
My other favorite thing, guys, and I did decide, was this bacon cooker. And I mean,
I will definitely show close-ups of this glaze.
Absolutely in love with this. One of the things that when I shared it in the kiln unload video, and we did put the little cards in the kiln unload video so that people, if they wanted to try out the same combos, they'd be able to see it. I forgot to say that I coated this entirely first with Amico's Celadon Snow.
Oh.
And I did do that for a reason, because I was trying to get that first layer on to get rid of some of my specks. I mean, it does show through with the snow, but then I thought the other colors would be more vibrant on it because that white would be covering the dark tan. And it did really work for that ginger. Look at that. See that ginger? The ginger does not normally look like that on the standard 112, but putting that snow underneath really helped. So I
love the colors. I love the hint of the peachy orange with the darker blue. Yeah. And the streaks are just fantastic. Yes. Do you use dark flux on the top?
No, there's no
flux.
Well, what it is running hot chowder,
which acts like a flux.
And I put that in stripes, and so that gives it, a very unique appearance.
Well, I can't wait to see that out in the sunshine. Yes. That is a beautiful bacon cooker. Yes. Now, is that we don't know yet if that's the one we're going to keep.
Right.
We made two bacon cookers.
And in fact, Jacinda, if you're watching, either this one or the other one from the kiln unload will be yours. I'm going to send the picture today, in fact, and let her pick. I don't know. I could send both of them up with Carolyn.
And then have her choose.
Choose.
Jacinda, if you're watching, this is the one you want, I think. But maybe not.
If you don't, then this one is mine.
Right.
So
and maybe
I'll do a video on how you use them in the microwave with bacon.
Right.
So.
For those of you who don't know, you take a piece of bacon, you put half of it on the inside, half of it on the outside, so it's draping over. The grease from the bacon drips down into the reservoir down here, and then there's a hole in the bottom for it to come out from the inside. And then when it comes time, you take the bacon out, and then you just pour off the grease. And then clean this normally. But as all of our stuff is this way, it's microwave and dishwasher safe and meant to be used in the microwave. So we'll see.
I just love that.
We'll see how it works.
And I like the little fluting around the bottom too. I think it just, because this piece does not have any texture in it, and it is a hand-built piece, I wanted to do that little fluting.
To make it fancy.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that.
You got to be a little fancy.
Yep.
So, and that came out on Saturday afternoon. But before that on Saturday, we had that wheel throwing class.
Right. We had 3 ladies come in for a fantastic wheel throwing class. And we used both of our little Vivor pottery wheels and the larger pottery wheel. And everybody had a fantastic time. We had no problems with the wheels, no issues. And the class itself went very, very well. We normally tell folks that our first session wheel throwing classes usually last between 90 minutes and 2 hours. And this one was 2.5 hours. And it was fantastic.
Everybody had so much fun. I mean, one lady was giggling. She was having so much fun. She said it was like she was playing. And
that's how you know that somebody loves what they're doing. And I think even though our classes right now are kind of limited to Saturdays, I think we're going to try to push to have a few more of them. It seems it's fun. We enjoy it. So,
right. You made some things last week.
Not much. I didn't make a whole lot. So one of the things that I did was I picked up one of my bags of scraps for the Sheltoy Brown, and I can't even really call it reclaim because it's not. It was a bag filled with like half balls of clay that I had used for chocks on the wheel or spare bits that I'd pulled off from other things, and it was really kind of a janky mixed bag of clay of mixed consistency. And instead of sitting down and wedging the 5 pounds of clay, which would have been pretty easy, would have taken me a little bit of time, but instead of sitting down and wedging it for a long period of time, I gave it, maybe 30 seconds to a minute of very basic wedging, and then I put it on the wheel and coned it up a bunch of times, 6 or 7 times, and then I made a bowl out of it. Now, I am pretty sure that I did a good job with that bowl, but there is an outside chance, about a 10% chance, that I didn't get all the air bubbles out. And the issue with that is when it comes time to trim the bowl, if I trim the bowl down and discover an air bubble in the leather hard bowl, then that's going to make a cavity. It's going to make a hole in the bowl. And if I find that to be the case, if I trim it and find those holes, then I'm going to have a choice to make. Do I have a bowl that I'm trimming up, or do I have a colander? Right, because I'm like I could put more holes on purpose.
Where there's a will, there's a way. So.
Right. No matter what, the bowl turned out quite well. I love working with the Sheltilly Brown, and it did feel incorporated when I made it. The clays did feel fine, and I had no issues making it. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be a bowl. But if not a bowl, then maybe a colander, a strainer. And I did spin out a few cups and another bowl as a demonstration for Saturday's class. So I've got a few things to trim up. They're at the perfect stage now. When we're done with the video, I'll sit down at the wheel and trim things up. And hopefully they will all be ready to go. I don't know that they will be dry enough to go in our next bisque load, but at the very least they'll be finished and realized.
And I didn't get anything made because I was glazing. And that kind of brings us to our challenge. And our challenge is that our current schedule just was not working.
Last week you had joked about adding an 8th day on. We did not ultimately decide to add an 8th day.
Guys, we have changed our schedule. You know, being retired school teachers, we are so used to a schedule of chunks of time for certain things. Blocks of time, called block schedule. That we were like, you know what? Let's see if we can't make our schedule to be more like the school day was. And so that's what we've done. We've revamped the schedule so that we've actually built time in the morning for making things. We then have lunchtime and recess, guys.
We gotta have recess. Holy cow.
Yes, we're having recess. The dogs get walked down the road for recess.
Well, we walk them down the road, so we get our exercise too.
Yes, so it's a good thing. And then in the afternoon, I'm going to be glazing, but while I'm glazing, that's going to free you up to do the website management and the Etsy picture taking and listings and all, because we really had no time in our schedule to do those things.
And I think the lesson here is we have to actually commit the time to do the task. If we just allow it to be put on the back burner repeatedly over and over, then it's never going to get done. So we have to actually dedicate a chunk of our day to do that.
Yes, and I know it seems like we are forever changing that schedule and tweaking that schedule, but it's one of the things that I have learned is that success doesn't happen right away. It's one of those things that you have to restart it again and again and again until you find what clicks, you know. And so we keep making tweaks, and I'm feeling very confident that this is a step in the right direction.
And we look at it like this. Perfect organization might be our goal, but it is the act of trying to become perfectly organized that is really a big help. We may never get to that perfect organization destination, and that's okay because our circumstances change day to day, season to season, with whether we have a bunch of classes in the studio or whether we're spending the days making. The circumstances are flexible and changeable here in the studio, so our goal might never be actually attained. We might never get to perfectly organized, and that's all right because it's the act of trying to be perfectly organized that is important. Not the final destination, but the attempt at bringing order to chaos. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah, and of course we did have a highlight last week because, you know, with Wednesday, with the snow happening, Christopher's piano lessons got rescheduled because the roads were so bad. And in fact, I shared a picture of our roads when we left on Friday because we had them rescheduled to Friday. And when we left, our road was still covered with snow.
You could ice skate on our road.
But when we came home that day, the temperatures had risen and the sun was shining and the road was pretty much clear when we came home that afternoon. But we also, on top of going to his piano lesson, we had to pick up some horse feed for our daughter.
Not for her, for her horse.
Yes. That would make sense, right? I think they got that, though.
You probably got that.
But one of the highlights for me was the fact that we went to the Irish Penny in Salisbury and had lunch together.
We love that little restaurant, the Irish Penny in Salisbury,
Yes.
Maryland. If you get a chance, do check them out. They have fantastic food. They've changed up their recipe for their boxty just a little bit. I got the corned beef and cabbage boxty, and it was fantastic. Absolutely perfect. It was really good.
Oh, and on my sandwich was the most delicious bacon onion jam. If you've never had it, oh my gosh, what a sandwich changer.
It was it was really, really good.
We don't go out to eat much, guys.
So we enjoy it when we do, right?
Yes, and so that's why it was a highlight.
Right.
So, but we're going to go ahead and talk about this coming week now. So we are starting our new schedule.
Can't wait. It's going to be a very fun week.
Yes.
Fun.
And it looks like our day off is going to be Wednesdays, and we'll take a half day on Sunday afternoons.
In a couple hours, right?
Yes.
Yeah, a couple hours.
In a couple hours. So that'll be good. Of course, we have the kids back in again on Tuesday. And this week, we are focusing on slab building, and they're going to be making drinking vessels. And so we're going to be teaching them how to slip and score. And I think they'll have a good time with that.
The whole premise of the pottery class with the kids is that they make their own place setting. Last week, of course, they made bowls, pinch pot bowls, and coil built bowls. This week, it's going to be cups or mugs. They might want to make something like a coffee cup with a handle. They might want to make something without a handle also, but they're going to be using slab building techniques and slipping and scoring to adhere the pieces together. The following week, we'll be making plates on forms. So they're going to be drape molding,
and adding texture.
And personalization. They might want to draw or put words on their plates. And then the last session, they will glaze their work. And at the end of all of this, I think they'll have a nice little keepsake, a nice little memento of their time in our pottery class.
And they've had a great introduction to pottery techniques and a wide variety of things to do. So with just, with your hands. So I think that's great. This coming Friday, I'm hoping that all of the pieces that are on this shelf here drying, with the exception of the kids' bowls, because they're going to need another week.
They're pretty thick. We did that on purpose. We wanted them to make them rather thick so that we could make sure the thicknesses were uniform. We found out that if we try to enforce the idea of thinness with students doing pinch pots using coil building methods, then what happens is some of it is way too thin, and then you end up with cracks. So to make it a little more sturdy, a little more stable, we're drying them super slow, and we're keeping them as uniform as we can, but fairly thick. They're going to be heavy bowls, but that's okay.
Yeah, but hopefully all of the rest of the greenware will go into the kiln and be bisqued. So then it'll get added to the shelf behind me, and I will continue on my glazing.
Yep.
So that's up for Friday. And then, believe it or not, we have another wheel throwing class on Saturday.
Do we?
We do.
No, we don't.
Yes,
How do
we do.
Oh my goodness! Holy cow.
We do. And this time, it's the family of a lady that I worked with when I first started teaching. So, and it was funny because she'd set it all up, and then all of a sudden I get this other message from her saying, I just realized who you are. and then she tells me who she is, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Fantastic. I don't know how that escaped my, I know how it escaped my radar, because my mind is completely and utterly tumbleweeds blowing through blank on most things.
No.
But the fact that we have another wheel class next Saturday is a good thing. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun.
Yeah. And I know last week we had wanted to do that tutorial for the Cardinals, but there was just no time to fit that in. So this week, my plan is for us to do that on Thursday morning.
And if we have time, maybe that same day, I wanted to do a quick wheel throwing demo as well.
We could get them both filmed.
Last time when we did the wheel review for that Vivor pottery wheel, I had said in the review that I was going to do a short demo on the Brent Model C that we have as our normal workhorse in the studio. I never got to it. So if I can, I'll put out maybe 10 or 15 minute quick throwing demonstration on the Brent that we use in the studio, and that might also be useful for the folks that are coming into the wheel classes. That would be something they could watch before they come in the studio,
right?
So they would have a little bit of a background knowledge,
right? And I forgot to mention this piece right here.
Oh, your napkin holder! Yeah,
I can't believe I was just thinking about another picture I want to add into this video, but this is the napkin holder. I shared it. Was it last week?
It's the continuing saga of Diana's hand-built napkin holder.
The last time I showed you all, it was warped, and I said after it gets glazed, I'm wondering just how much more it's going to warp. Well, let me turn it this way, and I'll turn it this way.
It did warp little bit more.
A little bit more. Even this side did a little bit more. But I asked the folks that were here
at the wheel throwing class yesterday.
And I said, what do you all think? Do you think it's too warped? And they're like, no, that is beautiful. They're like, just think when you put the napkins in, oh, the fact that it has that warp, it means that it's handmade. I would get that in a heartbeat. And I'm like, okay.
They loved it, so we love it.
Yeah. So, and I'm fine with that. So, and I may end up keeping this one. Maybe. But I will be making more of these now. And I will be seeing if I can get it to not warp as much, but it's okay.
It is.
I'm good with that. The fact that sometimes things have fingerprints or they have a little bit of a warp or just a little bit wonky, it makes them a little bit more special. They're not made in a factory.
But during the course of our last few episodes, you've now seen the napkin holder go from greenware to bisqueware to glazed and finished pottery, and there it is.
Yep, there it is. And the other picture that I was thinking about when all of a sudden I saw that, because my mind was doing weird things too, is the mug that Lachlan had made for her competition. That came out of the kiln also. So we'll share a picture of that because we showed that to you in its greenware form with a little sun on it and stuff. So she's got it all glazed.
They'll be coming this afternoon to pick that up.
Yeah, they're going to pick it up today. So I want to make sure I share that with you guys too. But last week was phenomenal, and I'm looking forward to another very productive, busy, amazing week.
I can't wait to spin out some more things on the wheel. I honestly am looking forward to it.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to being able to have that time built in to actually make and actually glaze and actually work on whip type things.
I'm not so much looking forward to that, but it's got to be done, and we have to schedule it.
Yeah, we do. It's like when we had our planning time in school. We didn't always like planning time. But we had to have it.
Right, yep. All right, well, are we all finished then?
Yep, we are done.
Thank you so much for watching. If you are watching from a new location, if you're a new subscriber, tell us where you're from.
Yes.
And we'll be doing a map update within the next couple of weeks where we show where our subscribers are based. But for now, toodaloo, TTFN, ta-ta for now. Take care, see you later. Have a fantastic day, no matter where you're at. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.